This video is brought to you by the Academic Anxiety Resource Center at Ball State University.
Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about how managing procrastination can help with academic anxiety. You may be wondering what procrastinating has to do with academic anxiety. When we procrastinate on our academic obligations, it negatively impacts the time we have to study and the amount of time we have to complete assignments, which in turn negatively impacts self-efficacy because we may not leave adequate time to study or complete assignments, and this can result in poor feedback. So if procrastination has all these negative impacts, why do people do it? One reason is because we want immediate rewards. A lot of times schoolwork takes a long time before we get that feedback and get the reward, so it might be more rewarding to go on our phone and scroll through social media. Another reason may be because the task is unpleasant. If we don't particularly enjoy the class that we're studying for, the assignment we have to do, we're going to be a lot more likely to put it off. We could also be overbooking our schedule so we don't have time. Or perfectionism can cause people to procrastinate because the expectations we set for ourselves for that task could cause anxiety and make us not want to start it right away. So what can we do to stop procrastinating? I'll start with some quick tips before I get into some examples that take a little bit more time to work through. The first thing you want to do is check your environment and make sure you're in a space where you can study and where you study the best. This kind of goes along with your checking your environment. You want to eliminate distractions. So if you're around people and you don't focus well around people, you might need to find a new place to study. And then also fact check your reasons for procrastinating. You need to decide if what you're deciding to do instead is really more important than the task that you've been putting off. So now that I've gone over some quick tips, I'm going to go through some worksheets that you can use to help prioritize and manage procrastination. This first worksheet is a great resource from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. It gives you a place to rate the importance of any task you need to get done, and then you can mark it off in the right column over here. So here for an example, I've listed all of the schoolwork that I need to get done this week. So I really like this because you can stop and look at it before and have it all in front of you before you start to prioritize and decide what needs to get done first. So next you'll choose what the most important assignments are for the week, and you will circle the A for each of those columns. So this is anything that is going to have concrete due dates. Sometimes you'll want to consider how long it's going to take, because then you're going to want to start it earlier, and how difficult the task is. So with my research paper references, in my term paper outline having a due date towards the end of this week, I went ahead and marked those as a higher priority. And then my reading questions for my intro class also have a due date, so I went ahead and circled that with an A. And I have to read chapter 3 to complete those questions, so that is also something that's going to be high priority for this week. For my lectures and readings, those are still important to get done to make sure I'm not falling behind, but those are a little less critical because they don't have concrete due dates, so those I circled the B for. And then creating my study guide, that's something I'm doing on my own time, but with the midterm coming up, it's still important, so that is a C. And I circled the PowerPoint for my presentation as pretty low priority for this week because that's just something I can do to get ahead that's going to be due in the coming weeks. This is another resource from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. It is really similar to the first one I showed you, but this one is just set up a little bit different into things that you absolutely have to do, things you should do, and then things you could do. So I went ahead and all the assignments that are either really difficult, are going to take long, and have concrete due dates, I put into the must do. These are the same examples that I had on that previous form. And then these things that don't have due dates, I put as should do. So the reading and the lecture, just things I do that to make sure I don't fall behind. And then my lowest priority things that don't really have to get done this week, I went and put in the could do column.
For more resources and information about academic anxiety, visit our website. We have in-depth information about the types of symptoms, management resources, and free self-assessment scales.